feeling prayed up, trying to find a way out. I need your help now. Come show me. I puff. Now I'm chilling with the Most High. I can't even get enough. Now listen, daughter. Pay attention, pray and listen. Hear your father.
I just wanted to bring you guys along with my scheduled date. Well, actually, not scheduled, impromptu date with Jesus, because I just feel it in my soul that I need to have a date. I haven't been on a date in a hot minute, and so what better way to kick off my date diaries than to spend it with Jesus? So I have drove to the beach, which is, I explained, where I feel the closest to him. I'm about to have a beach date with God, and I'll probably be here for a few hours. I got my homemade matcha that I made, and I got my Bible, I got my journal, I got my book, got some markers, my water. It's the whole thing. It's gonna be a whole vibe. So yeah.
Truly I tell you, you will weep and you will mourn, but the world will rejoice. When a woman is delivered, she is in pain because her time has come. But when she is giving birth to a child, she no longer remains. She no longer is suffering because of the joy of the person who has been born into the world. So you also have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice.
Share the fact that I have finished the entire book of John, the Gospel, and I'm so excited that I was able to finish that. Sharing a little bit just like how I studied I studied my Bible in the way that I've never had before, and I'm so grateful that God has just put it on my heart this season to really get back into my word. And just in the spirit of it being Bree Diaries, one thing that I admire about myself is my ability to be vulnerable when it has its purpose. I mean, every time I'm vulnerable, whether it's intimately with someone or friends or family, it's always for a purpose. But as far as like sharing it on my platform of YouTube, obviously I don't have any other social media accounts at this moment, and I don't see myself really getting back to TikTok anytime soon. So this is the place where I can be vulnerable. And yeah, the whole point of Bree heard God's voice clearly. Now, I always continue to pray and reflect and all that, but the things that I was missing in my life was being in my word and journaling, because so much was going on in my head and I couldn't put words to a pen and paper. And that's where I struggle with. Now I'm in a season I'm a little bit more grounded than I was last year. But I'm here today to say that I'm just so grateful that God put it on my spirit to get back into my word. And I just feel so good about it. So, so much peace in regards to knowing that no matter how far-fetched I am, no matter how distant I become, God has never left my side. In the midst of anything, He has never left my side. And I have peace knowing that I can rest in that. So I guess that brings me to this point of just my vulnerability. Just the fact that one of the things that I feel like I was called to be in this life, I meant to share my words and my thoughts with people, whether that's my career in psychology and mental health, whether that is through my YouTube channel, in which I start and stop, and I've been doing that over the past 10 years, or if it's with my friends and just really speaking some gems and dropping some gems on them, my family, or what have you. Being a mother has been something that I know that I was called to do. I never wanted kids. My very, very early, between middle school and high school, I never wanted kids, and it wasn't until I had my very first miscarriage at 21 where my desire to have kids amplified. I feel my other purpose in this life is to be in companionship, to be in partnership with someone. I'm a hopeless romantic. I've always been a hopeless romantic, and throughout life and grief and failed relationships and failed family unit, as far as the relationship that I have with my child's dad and what we created and what it didn't become, it deterred me a lot. It traumatized me a lot. It had such an impact on my mindset and the way that I moved. Being this girlfriend that did all of the wifely things for someone that I didn't end up being in a marriage with really struck me away from a lot. And so I get into a relationship with someone that ultimately, and if you know, ultimately regulated my nervous system. I really let my guard down in so many ways that I never had before. But also in the midst of being in that relationship, I not necessarily became nonchalant towards things, but more so I was moving in a space of I'm just going to allow what God is doing. But I also knew that I had a lot of things to work on. I knew that I still had that lover girl in me, but I just needed to, I wouldn't say heal, because I just feel like people just throw that word around. I needed to work through and grow through what was eating me up inside unintentionally. You think that you are healed, you think that you are moving and grooving through things because you dealt with it, you wrote about it, you journal about it, you pray about it, but it doesn't hit you until you're actually put in that situation to test you. And so in the relationship, I was tested in ways that I thought I thought I was good from that, but turns out certain things I really wasn't. So that brings me 4 years later. I feel as though I've learned so much. I've been through so much. I've been through so much in these 4 years of being single. The ups and downs, the emotional highs and lows, the yearning for companionship to the not yearning for companionship to maybe I don't need to date at all. Well, maybe I need to date 3 people at a time. Maybe I need to have a roster. Maybe I need to just say yes to everybody and just see who made the best man win, basically. To maybe I still got some work to do, and maybe I don't need to be dating, and maybe it's just not a good idea, to now, like, me continuing to work on myself mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and growing in my spirituality, and learning how to be me and be obedient in what I know I'm praying for and what I know God can provide. And it almost makes me feel bad, because it's like, okay, God, I should just be grateful for this season of singleness. But at the same time, God wouldn't put it on my heart for a partner, or wouldn't give me all of these qualities as a woman and as a partner when I was partners to people, for me to be called to singleness for the rest of my life. That is not the idea. I am definitely a yearner, an old school yearner, and I've always taken relationships pretty serious. I've not been in a lot of relationships in my life, but the relationships that I did have, I did take them very seriously, and I did, think very deeply about relationships. I thought more longevity than anything, and I guess that's where I'm at with it. I can no longer just dumb myself down into be like this go with the flow type of woman, when my whole purpose is to be intentional about the things that I want and the things that I desire, and how I move when it comes to who I want to be with. And so I'm in a season of, and I was speaking this with my friends, like, no, I don't, they ask me, do you talk to such and such? I'm like, no, I don't talk to anybody. And it wasn't a flex, but it was also one of those things where I then explained, I can't pray for my spouse. I can't pray for a partner, companion, and I'm putting myself in positions where I have a roster and I'm stringing somebody along, or I'm stringing multiple people along, and I'm just seeing where it goes. Like, I want, when God places the person that's meant for me, I don't want to have any strings to anybody. I don't want to have to cut nobody off. I don't want to have to ghost anybody. I don't want to have to cut ties, and say, hey, like, I'm dating this person. Like, I really just want to be clear and be open when that person comes along. I've been tied up in a string for the past 4 years, wanting to be in a relationship with someone that pretty much had a leash on my heart while they were trying to figure out what they wanted in all of the things. Well, in the spirit of being vulnerable, I started doing the same thing, where, okay, my heart is going to be here, but because you're doing what you're doing whatever you want to do, I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And whenever you tell me that you're ready, I can be available. And that put me on an emotional roller coaster I've never experienced in my entire life. And so an end had to be an end for that. I'm at this point where I am in my preparation season. Like, I wouldn't even say waiting. I guess waiting is preparation as well. But I'm allowing God to mold my heart posture in a different way than it was before. And although I yearn, I can't feel bad, because I do desire a relationship. Like, it's just like sex. God, if it wasn't meant for people to have sex, he wouldn't have designed intimacy in that way. It's how you go about it. It's how you're moving through it. It's meant to be an effective way of intimacy in a covenant, in a marriage, in a union with someone, which is why soul ties are created. I won't go on a soap opera about that. But I'm learning so much in this part of my life. But also, too, I can't help but I don't want to rush what God has for me. I should say that. I don't want to rush what he's doing. I would love to one day have a partner. I would love to one day have someone that I can spend the rest of my life with. But also, my daughter is 5 now, and I'm very picky. I've always been that person of like, no, I will never bring anybody around my daughter until I know it's signed, sealed, and delivered. But I was also like journaling last night and reflecting on that. You know, it doesn't, I thought in one point, my daughter not seeing me with a partner, I don't want her to think that, oh, just being single and independent is the way. And not saying that it's not the way, because some people are called to be single and independent, but I want her to be shown what love is. But then I had to redirect myself. Her knowing that I'm protecting her from people that won't be in her life forever, I think that she'd admire that a lot more. And so I'm not just seeking a partner for myself. I'm seeking a partner, or praying for a partner for my daughter as well. Someone that's going to guide us, lead us, protect us, provide for us, and just overall be that person that we need in our lives. And so with wisdom comes understanding, comes faith, and knowing that God is going to give me everything I desire. As I'm being intentional, I can only imagine what God is curating for the person that I'm meant to be with. Like, I hope he's just as intentional as I am. I hope that he's not moving in a way that's compromising what he's praying for. I hope he is learning things about himself and growing through his pains and growing through the things that he's gone through in his life. I hope that he is seeking God in everything that he's doing. As for me, I hope that we're aligned in ways that I can only imagine. Like, I just know that God has somebody that is designed for my heart. I feel like my love is so deep, and I've been told numerous times that I'm just so mature. I've been told by a person that I thought that I loved that you're just too mature for me. And I just couldn't understand that. I couldn't understand how someone can say something like that. But also too, yeah, I do take relationships and things serious. I can't play with someone like that. And I don't want nobody to play with me, because I've been played with, I've been cheated on, I've been strung along, I've been turned every which way but loose. And so I don't have that in me. I don't have that desire in me to do that to somebody else. And I pray that the person God curated for me is doing the thing. And I hope that we meet soon. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to close off this video because this is mainly about my relationship with God, about the things that's on my mind and my heart as it pertains to my faith. Maybe somebody will understand, resonate. Maybe it won't. But until next time, I'll see you soon.